Today we have a question from Susanna in London, England.
London, England.
London. So Susanna says, I'm always apologizing to my husband, even when I know I'm right and he's wrong. Is there a rhetorical strategy to even the playing field? It's a good question.
Yeah. My most popular talk that I give is called How to Screw Up, because everybody does it. The thing is that, the first time I did it, I kind of overstated this whole thing about apologies. And what I said was, because apologies generally don't work, right? I mean, you can never apologize enough. You said that in a previous video.
I did.
You're totally right. One reason why people can't accept it is that they see apologies as a kind of self-punishment. When really, apologies can be the opportunity to talk about what values you have in common that you yourself hold and temporarily lapsed from. I said, instead of apologizing, you should talk about what you stand for and how your lapse made you all the more determined to stick to those values in the future, those great virtues. Well, the men loved it. It's like, wow, we don't apologize anyway. This is awesome. We never had to, as it turns out. The women were furious. It was one of those rare moments when I talk persuasion where men and women really divided on this. And women rightly said, come on, an apology really is necessary. And it is. I mean, saying you're sorry when you really believe you are, I think is very important. That being said, there is an opportunity. We are talking rhetoric here. There's an opportunity for you to establish a closer relationship with your loved one or friend. Or boss for that matter, by focusing on those values. So one of the things you should do, is it Susanna?
It's Susanna.
Susanna.
And her husband.
And her
the
husband.
real question is, your husband, does he have any values, Susanna?
Well, probably he has plenty, and he's holding her up to those very high standards.
Good point.
So she should talk about what they have in common, and often what it is that he's just being impatient with little things. Now, in a previous Q&A kind of video, we talked a little bit about framing. One of the things to do is to take the subject away from your little screw up and talk in general about what's going on. If the husband is complaining a lot to the point where Susanna has got to apologize all the time, maybe there's some larger issue at stake. Now, I'm not a psychologist, but I can say it's probably a good idea to try to suss out that issue. Like, what's this really about? Is this about the fact that I left the coffee cups in the sink this morning? Is this about that? Is it about general cleanliness? Or is there something else going on that's bothering you about a relationship? My wife and I wouldn't argue for months at a time, and then I'd screw up. And she would bring up this litany of atrocities I committed in the previous 3 months. Like, she stored them up. And, since she learned some of the tools of rhetoric, including reframing, she now brings things up that really bug her. Or else she tries to suss out these issues when I'm really annoyed with her, to see, is that really what the issue is about? Try that, Susanna. Say, is this really about what's being brought up? Instead of just apologizing right away, I would hope that you would gain some respect from your husband. And at the same time, maybe find out what really is bugging the guy. Let us know.
And if it doesn't work, he ain't worth the trouble, girlfriend.
I think they're married, dear.
Oh, then...
We're not going into that.
No, we're not. Different argument. Not on ArgueLab.
I mean, he still might not be worth the trouble, but we're not divorced. We're not the divorce court here either.
Sorry, Susanna's husband. Anyways, this is ArgueLab. If you have your own pressing needs, desires to know about persuasion, you can ask us below in the comments or go straight over to arguelab.com, where we try to answer questions personally. At least Jay does. And follow our Facebook page and other things.
ArgueLab.
ArgueLab.
Yep.
ArgueLab Facebook page. I'm Christina Fox of ArgueLab, and thank you for arguing.
No, this isn't an argument.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't. It's just contradiction.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
It is